Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the West Basin Municipal Water District Special Board meeting for November 19th at around 1 o'clock. Call this meeting to order. Mr. General Manager, can you please call the roll?
Yes, Madam President. Director Tommy Fabai. Here. Director Desi Alvarez.
Here.
Director Scott Houston.
Here.
Director Don Deere.
Here.
President Gloria Gray. We have a
Thank you
quorum.
very much. We have a quorum. Hazel, would you please lead us in the pledge of allegiance?
Join me and stand if you are able, face the flag, right hand on your heart.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Hazel. We'll now go to item 5, presentation. Are there any presentations?
Madam President, staff has no presentations.
There's an item that is too late for the agenda. Can you let us know what that is, please?
Madam President, you did skip over public comment.
Oh, I'm sorry. Public comment.
Yes. And staff has not received any requests for public comment prior to this meeting, though this meeting is being held both in person and virtually. If there's any member of the public that would like to speak in a public comment, please indicate so by raising your virtual hand. I do not see a request for public comment.
Thank you very much. Now we will go to item 5, any presentations? No.
No.
Item 6, items too late to be agenda.
Yes, Madam President, there is an item too late to be agendized. Subsequent to the posting of the agenda on Friday, November 14th, staff received a request for sponsorship for an event on Saturday, December 13th. Due to the date of the event, today's meeting would be the only opportunity for the item to be presented to the Board of Directors for consideration. The request is from the Monique Woolley Foundation for their WFBTY annual fundraiser gala on December 13th. President Gray is recommending sponsorship of this event in the amount of $2,000. This request would be or could be added to the existing item 8A. There's currently one active sponsorship on there. So this would be item 8A2 if the board so chose to add this to the agenda. I will hand it off to our legal counsel as far as the process in order to add this to the agenda.
Apologies for my phone going off. My new phone. We do require a vote of the board and a determination that, as EJ already described, that the item came up after the posting of the agenda and that there's a need to take immediate action. If there is a basis, and if you have a vote and 2/3 vote required for this, and it can be added to the agenda, we can take it up immediately, or we can put it at another spot in the agenda.
Thank you. Is there a motion to add this item to the agenda?
I so move.
Second.
Thank you. Any comments? Can you please do a roll call?
Director Tommy Fabai,
Yes.
Director Desi Alvarez,
Yes.
Director Scott Houston,
Yes.
Director Don Deere,
Yes.
President Gloria Gray.
That would be item 8A2. Okay, thank you. Now we will go to the consent calendar. Are there any items to be pulled from the consent calendar, Director Alvarez?
Yes, I would like to have a presentation on item 7A.
Which item?
7A, consideration of state and federal legislative advocacy service.
7A. Any other items, please? Thank you.
I'll move the rest of the consent calendar.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion of the consent, rest of the consent calendar? If not, please call the roll.
Director Tommy Fabai,
Yes.
Director Desi Alvarez,
Yes.
Director Scott Houston,
Yes.
Director Don Deere,
Yes.
President Gloria Gray.
Consent calendar. Motion moved. Now we will go back to 7A.
Yes, Madam President, item 7A is consideration of state and federal legislative advocacy services. This item was brought as an information calendar item in the month of October. At the board meeting in October, Director Desi Alvarez did request that we bring this back for consideration by the committee and board of directors. This item was brought before the Water Policy and Legislative Committee earlier this month. And at that time, the committee did recommend what was recommendation number 1. And so we do have Matt Vey here, Manager of Water Policy and Resources Development, for the presentation. This item does begin on packet page 5.
Yeah, thank you, EJ, and good afternoon, directors. We can move to the slides for this item. So as the general manager mentioned, I have presented on this a couple of times at committee over the past 2 months, so I'll try to keep this brief. So if we can move to the next slide, please. So both of our state and federal advocacy contracts are set to expire at the end of this calendar year. So December 31st will both be up. Starting with our state side, EML Pappas and Associates, led by Emily Pappas, the partner, and Jamie Miner, the principal. They have served us for roughly 6 years now. I did speak with them over the past month, and just again to confirm for the directors, they are very much interested in continuing to represent West Basin. They did also say that they are on board with keeping the rates as is, that they've done the last couple times that we've entered into agreements with them. So the rates have been the same since 2019, since they first started representing us. And the next slide, again, I think I've covered this a couple times. It shows just a sampling of the for us. But in Sacramento, they're really great with relationships. They're extremely responsive to us whenever we have a specific action or issue that comes up for us or Metropolitan or any of our retailers. They've always been able to jump in right away and tackle that for us. So we have a lot of trust in them. They do care of us, and so we are very interested from staff's perspective in continuing to work with NPA. If we move over to the federal slides now, again, Van Scoik Associates represented us even longer at 8 years now. We're coming on to, and again, Edie Rich and Jeff Goldman are primary that entire time. So a lot of continuity there with them. They understand our issues. They understand our Army Corps of Engineers, our Harbor South Bay project very well. They've gotten us authorizations from the federal government. They've gotten us help get us grants. Again, they have really good working relationships with our delegation. And so again, we have a ton of trust with them. With the current administration in place, they've been great at helping us navigate what some of the potential issues might be with our funding, with some of our programs. So having that expertise right now has been very valuable to us. So again, staff did want to provide kind of 2 options at the committee meeting earlier this month, which was to enter into 2-year agreements with each of those firms at the same rates. However, we know this is a board-driven decision, and so we did offer the option 2, which would be to go out to RFP. And staff is absolutely capable and willing to do that if that's the direction of this board. Again, our preference is to continue working with the 2 firms, but I want to turn it back over to the board for further discussion and wait your direction.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. Any questions with this one? Director Alvarez?
I have some comments. Both of these consultants have done an excellent job for West Basin, and I'm sure will continue to do that. And they are very knowledgeable as to our positions with respect to our interests both in Sacramento and in Washington, D.C. But both of these contracts have now been extended or uh, reawarded at least 3 different times. The VSA agreement, as you just mentioned, goes back to December 2017, and it's been amended 3 times to bring us to the current date. And the Nemily Pappas agreement was originally in February 2019 for an original, 6 month, and then it's been extended 2-year terms 3 times since. And I think it's in the best interest of the district to take time at this point and go out and solicit bids and encourage both of these firms to submit bids because they do bring a lot of value. But in terms of practices and to be consistent with our administrative code, the continued re-extension of the contract does not serve us well. And it definitely does not present a good posture for the district. In the administrative code on this particular item, which is for the procurement of professional services over 50,000, does require formal solicitation and board approval. And I don't think we've gone through that process, and I don't think we even went through that process when they were originally awarded, but maybe staff can clarify that issue.
Are you asking me whether it was solicited?
Mhm.
So both were solicited,
Formal process.
both were solicited through a formal process on the state legislative affairs. We did not receive responses to that proposal. And so my recollection, although I was not directly involved, was that we, the district, solicited specific firms to apply, and Nemily Pappas did respond to that request. So I think that technically it was outside of that normal process, though I believe we not only put it out to RFP, but we reissued the RFP again, and then had to request proposals. On the federal affairs, that was, we went through our normal process in selection of VSA.
Right, but thank you for that. On the basis of the fact that these have now been extended 3 times for additional 2-year terms, so they're haven't been out to for solicitation in a long time. I think just for consistency with the administrative code, I would like to move that we proceed actually with option 2, and that you go out and solicit proposals for these services.
There's a motion on the floor for consideration of Director Alvarez's comments. Is there a person, a second on that motion, or a second on that motion? I'll second it just for discussion, second. So discussion, comment, any comments for anyone else before I make my comment?
Can you just clarify what the motion was? I mean, it is hard to hear in here.
Director,
The motion was to go with option 2, which is to go out for formal solicitation for these services.
comment,
Unless I'm missing something, where does it say option 2?
he's just bringing a new recommendation in. Nothing written. Staff recommendation is there because the committee can't meet a recommendation.
Well, I'm,
In the introduction, does say that there are 2 options.
oh,
And then the committee that reviewed this went with option 1.
Yeah, that's true. So option 1 is what you see on the agenda today,
got it. Okay, thank you.
but option 2 is what Director Alvarez has stated.
Well, I'll just say, I'm gonna go with what the committee recommendation was. That's my comment.
My comment is, I certainly respect the comments of everyone here at the dais, but Alvarez, your point is well taken, but I think both of the consultants have have done a great job. In fact, you said that too. I did not think it was the time to go out for an RFP. I think there was some discussion of, it was pretty much non-responsive in terms of others looking at the other contract for the the state consultants, but I think both of these consultants have done a great job. I think stability is important. I'm not sure we'll get anything else. I'm sure there's people out there, it does cost money to go out for an RFP, but I would suggest that we go with the staff recommendation, but I do understand Director Alvarez's point of view. I was part of the committee and I went with the staff recommendation. And that's what I will continue to do.
Chair,
Yes,
I have a
sir.
comment.
Yes, please.
Thank you. I just wanted to comment on this item because I think, Chair Gray is spot on. I think going out to RFP, I think it's gonna change the landscape of having these two, entities on board because with all of the relationships that they form, especially when it comes to the legislators that are there currently there in Sacramento and Washington DC. I think it's great that we keep this relationship going. If we do go out for RFP, we don't know what we're going to get at a later time, and with a lot of the uncertainty that's happening with Washington DC and the current administration, and then the midterms coming up in Sacramento next year, it's always good to keep, these firms in place that has the relationships. And I agree with Chair Gray moving forward with the recommendation.
Thank you. Any further comment? All right, with that, can you please call the roll?
And Madam President, I want to clarify. So there's a motion and a second for what would have been option or what was option 2 at the committee. And I want to make sure I didn't hear a substitute
So
motion.
we're voting on option 2. And that option is what Director Alvarez had stated, basically go out for an RFQ.
Okay.
So that's what we're voting on right now.
Correct.
Okay, correct?
Director Fabai?
No.
Director Desi Alvarez?
Yes,
Director Scott Houston?
No.
Director Don Deere?
No.
President Gloria Gray?
No.
Motion fails.
Okay, now we would take up the staff recommendation. Is there a motion for that?
Motion?
Second.
Okay, any discussion on that? Okay, please call the roll.
Director Tommy Fabai?
Yes.
Director Desi Alvarez?
No.
Director Scott Houston?
Yes.
Director Don Deere?
Yes.
President Gloria Gray?
Yes,
Motion passes.
I think it's that motion passes for item 7A, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, now we will go to item 9. Is that correct? Information calendar?
No, the item 8A.
8A. You have my glasses on too, okay. Item 8, action calendar, 8A, please.
Yes, Madam President. Item 8A now includes 2 items. Item 8A1, which is on the existing agenda, and then the item that was too late to be agendized, item 8A2. And for this presentation, we do have Hazel Vasquez, our Deputy Board Secretary, and the item begins on packet page 30.
Hey, good afternoon, President Gray and members of the board. As EJ mentioned, this item begins on packet page 30, and I will go ahead and start off with the first item that you do see typed up there. And this is for the Hope Academy's Swingin', Singin', and Givin' Winterfest 25 event. So the Hope Academy is hosting this event on Saturday, December 13th. President Gray at this time is recommending sponsorship of this Winterfest event for $1,500. If approved, the sponsorship would grant West Basin a booth at the event, as well as shared social media posts and logo placement on their event flyers, programs, and digital promotions. This sponsorship also includes tickets to the event. West Basin has not previously sponsored this event. However, in October, we did sponsor the Light the Night Festival, which is hosted by the Community Development Corporation. And that happens to be a sister organization of the Hope Academy, which both fall under the Center of Hope LA umbrella. That event was sponsored for the same amount, for $1,500, and we also supported that event. Documents submitted by the organizers for this sponsorship request are included in attachment A, and that is found beginning on packet page 32. I will go ahead and jump into that second item that was voted into the agenda just a minute ago. I believe that handouts are coming around, so I'll give it just a quick second that you have that before you. Start introducing it. Those are being dispersed. So as EJ mentioned in the introduction to the item that was too late to be agendized, this is for the Monique Woolley Foundation, who is hosting the One Feeling Big Yellow, or Circle of Healing 5th Annual Fundraising Gala on Saturday, December 15th. The foundation provides resources and other services for survivors of suicide and those affected by mental health challenges. The gala provides an opportunity to amplify stories of survival. While funds raised go towards supporting mental health programs and providing direct human resources to those in need. President Gray recommends sponsoring the gala for $2,000. If approved, this sponsorship would now be an opportunity for a district representative, as well as an advertisement opportunity via the inclusion of West Basin program flyers in the guest gift bags that will be distributed throughout the event. Sponsorship would also provide tickets to the event, and we have not sponsored this event. The documents that were submitted by the organizers for this request have been provided to you in a handout. A copy will also be uploaded to the district's public page for this meeting. With that, I will jump over to the fiscal impact. That was also provided to you. An updated running budget was provided for this program as the second handout. Approving sponsorship of both of these events in the amounts that have been requested, which now total $3,500, would leave a remaining balance of $26,550. Again, you can see the details for that on that second page handout that was provided to you. And with that, I will read the recommendation. Revised recommendation. Number 1, President Gray recommends that the board approve sponsorship of the Hope Academy Singing and Giving Winterfest 25 event on Saturday, December 13th, 2025 for $1,500. And number 2, President Gray recommends that the board approve sponsorship of the Monique Woolley Foundation's WFBTY annual fundraising gala on Saturday, December 13th, 2025 for $2,000. And with that, my presentation has concluded. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, for the presentation. Any questions of Hazel? This one. All right, is there a motion to consider?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
A discussion? I will make a comment on both of these organizations. The first one is affiliated with the same foundation as part of Light the Night, and I believe Daryl was there with a vote, and Sheree can attest to the fact there were hundreds of people there. So it's a great outreach. It was a great outreach event to get our message out. I won't say it. It was probably at least 500 people there. And the other one, the one that's on this agenda, again, it will draw the same folks there from that same area to be at that event. So I assume that we'll have another great outreach opportunity. The Monique Woolley Foundation, as you heard, it does support mental health services for people who are struggling. And I think that's a worthy cause. They're having this first time that I've been affiliated with this organization, but I do know that in the past they've recognized, I think they had an event called Heroes, and they recognized the fire personnel and police personnel that were involved in the 2 major fires that happened here in LA area. And so I think they do great work, and that's why I'm recommending that you consider both of these events. So with that, any other comments or questions? If not, could you please call the roll?
Yes, Madam President. Director Tommy Favai,
Yes.
Director Desi Alvarez,
No.
Director Scott Houston,
Yes.
Director Don Beer,
Yes.
President Gloria Gray.
Yes.
The motion
Thank you.
carries.
Thank you very much. Thank you again. Thank you. And the rate for working very hard to get this on the agenda. I'm sure they'll be very appreciative. And thank you, board. Okay. What's the next slide?
The next item is item 8B. It's to authorize water bottle filling station application from California Water Service Company. This item was presented in front of the Public Information and Education Committee. And though we did receive feedback from the committee, we did not receive a consensus from the committee, so this item was added to the action. The recommended motion from staff is that the board authorize staff to accept and review water bottle filling station application from California Water Service Company. As noted in committee, California Water Service Company is one of West Basin's retail agencies. It is a for-profit business. The feedback that we received from the committee addressed that, and I have asked staff to review the guidelines of the programs to ensure that this program continues to provide services not only to our service area, but provide some safeguards as far as the applications that we receive, review, and ultimately get approved. That being said, California Water Service Company does represent and serve a majority of the West Basin service area. They actually learned about the program while touring. They brought a large contingency or group to tour our facility. And when they saw the water bottle filling station, they felt that it would help within their office headquarters there in the city of Torrance, which obviously welcomes customers from throughout our service area, including the Palos Verdes Peninsula, Hermosa Beach, Redondo Beach, and the city of Carson and surrounding areas. I do have Matt Bay, our Manager of Water Policy and Resource Development, here for the presentation. And we're happy to do it however the president or board would like. We can present this item again, or we could just make ourselves available for any questions that you have.
Well, is there a need for a presentation from
I
anyone?
would ask for the presentation.
And we have a request for presentation. Wait.
Okay, great. We can go to the slides. And really, there's just, I think, 2 or 3 slides that I'll touch on here. We can go to the next one. But I think General Manager did a great job of kind of describing the situation. Just to add maybe a few more details to this. So we did receive 2 applications for 2 different installations at California Water Service headquarters building in Torrance. And we do have a map that's on the next page or the next slide. So as you can see there, the blue is our service area. The lines indicates Cal Water service area. So that's kind of the overlap between our two service areas there. The pin in the middle, that is where the headquarters building is located. So it is outside technically of our service area. However, as the general manager described it, it's surrounded by many of our communities that we serve. The headquarters building is for Cal Water Service employees. However, it also is open to customers. They can go in there to do business. Also, the vendors utilize that space. So two spaces are being proposed for that location. This is the first time that we've received an application from one of the investor-owned utility customers. And as staff always does with any application that's kind of outside of our normal guidelines, we did flag it, and that's what brought it to this board for further direction. And in the past, we've kind of waited toward the end of the fiscal year to see how funding is going. However, the fact that they are one of our customers and that we still have plenty of funding in the current fiscal year for new applications, that's why we did decide to bring it to the board for your consideration. So of course, we serve at your direction on this issue. Staff is generally supportive of this request. for the reasons mentioned by the general manager. And we can see the value in having it there. Also, what might not be in that location right now is there's a big branding part of this, of this program. We could put up our West Basin logo and sign, and for many folks who just pay their bills to Cal Water Service, they might not know about the West Basin equation and how we do support them and how they're one of our customers. So just another consideration to factor into your decision is that there will be some visual things there for people to know where Cal Water gets its water from. So with that said, I think I'll wrap it up there, but happy to answer any additional questions that the board might have.
Thank you.
President, can
Questions,
I
please.
just ask a question? Because this is obviously very out of the ordinary, quite frankly. But legal counsel, is this something we could even do? Because this program was designed for nonprofits. It was designed for a certain amount of community access. It just seems a little awkward to me. So quite frankly, I'd love to hear your perspective.
Yeah, thank you. Provided that there is a public benefit for West Basin and a case to be made for that, then it is appropriate. Similar to other incentive programs you might offer to private companies to remove grass or whatever, it's okay to, but there does need to be a public benefit so that it's not a gift of public funds. And there's one that is, or a couple that are outlined. It's allowable and it's up to the board's discretion.
Any other director?
I have comments and a follow-up question, Director Houston's point. But, the program for, installation of the water, bottom filling stations, I think it's a very, good program. It does, encourage environmental awareness and, avoids the use of, plastic bottles, or encourages the use of reusable water bottles, I should say. My understanding is that we've had this program in place since 2017. And in that period of time, there's been 141 filling stations installed. The majority of these have been, all of these have been installed in either schools, parks, and all have been requested by public agencies, with a couple of exceptions, which have been for private schools, and they've been religious schools that have requested it, and the board has felt that it was fine for the one, not only providing the service that it does provide, but to the educational component that would benefit the school children at the private schools. We're now faced with a request from a for-profit company. And I am concerned about the gift of public funds. I think that point does need to be taken into consideration. And albeit that Cal Water is a water retailer, it still is a private company. It has limited hours when their offices is open to the public. I would assume that they're primarily Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. I don't know outside of their staff and their vendors how much public access there is to their offices. And I think it's probably limited. It's not like all of the other installations that we have on to date. So my concern is that it does set a precedent. If it's fine to do it here, then almost any business can make the same. And the rationale that we would be getting a marketing component because we would be able to put our logo out there and so on would also apply if this is done in a retail store or restaurant for-profit place. So albeit I heard our general counsel saying that we should make a exception. I'd like to get actually a legal opinion about gift of public funds and when that applies and when it does not apply. I think that we're kind of in a no man's land if we start going there here. So I would think that maybe we should wait for a formal legal opinion on this and maybe defer deciding.
Mr.
Yeah.
Chairman Council. Is your comment a formal?
I mean, the gift of public, yeah, maybe I could just explain. So the gift of public
Okay.
funds, you're given a lot of deference. But it is a judgment call, and the issues that Director Alvarez is raising are the ones that you are making your own assessment of whether there's value to the community or not. I mean, to the agency or not, to the district. So
But I would think that whatever your comments are based on the law, knowledge of the law.
Yeah.
So again, we're asking you as general counsel, is this considered not a gift of public funds? So if you need to do research, if you can and tell us today, we need to know that as elected officials. We're asking you that.
and that's the legitimate question. So when I spoke with staff and did my analysis and spoke with them about what the benefits were, which were articulated here, I felt that it was an appropriate, or it was an opportunity for the board to make a judgment call and to say yes or no. So if they said yes, that they are within the bounds of what they're allowed to do. If they say no, they can just make that
So
decision.
that within the law, if we decide to say yes.
I think it's okay.
So that's my question to you,
Yeah.
Jim.
I think it's okay, but a memo that I would write would be one that would not have a perfect example of this, but would have,
Would say the same thing that you're telling us today.
I think I would, yeah. I'm happy to put something in more detail if you're uncomfortable with it. We're departing from what we've done in the past.
I know before it's today is to make a decision about it. So I guess I'm asking you, based on your verbal comments, is it safe for us to assume that if you put something in writing, your comment would basically be the same?
I believe that my comment would be the same.
Okay, not council, but board members, are you good with that? Or what's your comment?
Yeah, so I'm fine with the council, the verbal, what he just mentioned. And I just wanted to add comments to the board. So, and I mentioned this at our committee meeting. I think, EJ, I think the staff has done a great job, especially when it comes to marketing and messaging, on the water bottle filling stations. Yes, this is a little bit different, when it comes to, working with a, for-profit organization. But I think we should look at it as partnerships that we have with our customers. And I think this would be a great, marketing tool and a great messaging tool, to let everybody know that, during these kind of times when it's tough for, the staff to go out and actually market, the water bottle stations, it's hard. It's hard. And I've been getting that from the committee, on it's tough to get agencies to say yes to a water bottle filling station. By having this, it's great. It just expands our horizons when it comes to the marketing and messaging on water bottle filling stations. So I agree with this recommendation. I'm moving forward with this.
Thank you, Director. Director, you say that, fine.
No, I'll just say, thank you, legal counsel. At the end of the day, look, it's a private company. I think that Director Alvarez is pretty well spot on too, that what prevents other private companies from coming and asking us to do this? And then we're going to be constantly making these decisions. This was designed for public agencies, for schools, for, libraries, for, nonprofits, have had the opportunity. And I think that we have been very judicious in that. So, at the end of the day too, it's not a lot of money, quite frankly. I don't understand why they were asking this, and I do respect Cal Water, but I'm not going to support this. Thank you.
Director, do you have any comments?
Yeah, I really feel that this is a very crucial exception to the rule about companies, private companies. because it is a company that is in partnership with us, the water business. And I think that's the only reason I would support that as opposed to just any company, anybody doing business as a company. So I agree with the majority of comments been made already on this matter.
Thank you. Thank you, Joe, for your comment response to Director Alvarez's concern and our comments regarding profit-making business being accessible to this particular program. Your comment about, it's a judgment call of the board is well taken. Thank you, Matt, for your comments about the benefits and so forth. And I look at that, and it is a judgment call because it doesn't mean that any profit-making company that comes before the board in terms of recommendation from staff to do this, that we have to do that, agree. But today we have Cal Waters before us, and I think the benefits basically to this program is our messaging, making sure that people know about our programs. And Matt talked about the purpose of the program. So, and Director Houston talked about the money part, which every dollar is important. Even though it may not be a lot, like I said, but it is important. But I think the benefit outweighs the cost at this point for me. And it doesn't mean that we're saying that every profit-making company that comes before us will agree. But before us today is this request. And so I think, again, staff is trying to get other nonprofit companies to do this, and they do a good job of outreach to them. And this program's been going on for a while. So I think, again, the purpose of the program outweighs the concern about the public comment, the public use of public funds. I think the benefit outweighs it for me for this particular request and the partnership that Director Deere mentioned. So with that, I will be supporting it. Any other comments? Okay, would you please call the roll?
Madam President, there was not a motion or a second on this item.
Your motion on, there's no recommendation. Is there a recommendation here?
Yes.
The recommendation, read the recommendation, please.
The recommendation is that the board authorize staff to accept and review a water bottle filling station applications from California Water Service Company.
Their motion, a motion on that.
Motion to approve recommendation.
Is there a second?
Second,
All right. Any further questions, concerns or questions or comments? Please call the roll.
Director Tommy Fabai,
Yes.
Director Desi Alvarez.
No.
Director Scott Houston.
No.
Director John Deere.
yes.
President Gloria Gray.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 8C.
Yes, Madam President. Item 8C is to authorize procurement of reverse osmosis membranes for the Torrance Refinery Water Recycling Plant. This item was agendized on the November Engineering Operations Committee, which ultimately had to be canceled. For the presentation, we do have Susanna Lee, Manager of Engineering, and this item does begin on packet page 49.
Thank you, EJ, and good afternoon, Madam President Gray and members of the board. As EJ mentioned, today staff is here to request authorizations to procure new reverse osmosis membranes for the Torrance Refinery Water Recycling Plant. And as the board is aware that the West Basin produces low pressure boiler feeds at Torrance Refinery, TRWRP, and utilizing microfiltration membranes as well as reverse osmosis membranes. The existing RO membranes was last currently installed in 2021 on 4 trains, and staff, along with contract operator and consultant, monitors the membrane performance in a regular basis. And after 4 years of operations and through the 2021 Hyperion upset, operational and performance data is showing that the decline in membrane performance, which resulted in more frequent cleanings and as well as gradual reduction in water quality performance. Staff had communicated to the refineries and informed warns refinery that the membranes are reaching at the end of their useful life and will require replacement. Of the existing contract, this will be part of the reconciliation effort, and the refinery will be paid for the purchase price for this membrane. Staff initiated the invitation for quotes to the qualified membrane manufacturers on September 25th, and 3 quotes were received. 2 were fully responsive, and the third bid were deemed non-responsive because the submitted membranes was not part of pre-qualified membrane. Based on the bidding results as shown in table 2, LG Water Solutions offered the lowest responsive bid with a total cost of $351,477.91 for 876 membrane element. The pricing in comparison reflecting an 8% reductions compared to the currently installed membrane. And LG has been historically providing competitive pricing. And staff did confirm if this is including tariff pricing, and LG has confirmed this is the tariff pricing that they will. Funding for this purchase again will be covered by the refinery through their fixed payments, and replacing this membrane now will help us to maintain consistent water quality and continue providing production reliability. With that, I will read the recommendations that the board authorize the general manager to procure 876 RO membrane and associated parts. LG Water Solutions for a total not to exceed amount of $351,477.91, including shipping and sales. Are there any questions?
Thank you. The director. Alvarez.
I have a question. For LG Water Solutions, where are the membranes fabricated?
In Korea. Korea.
In Korea. And for the other vendors?
So Toray has they source the raw material from, I believe, also Korea or China, I think. But then they do all the manufacturing effort here in the States.
If I could supplement that, the actual membrane chemistry, the flat sheet that goes into the elements that we install are made offshore, virtually for everybody. In the case of LG, they construct the elements that we ultimately are purchasing offshore, whereas other vendors may import that flat sheet membrane and then roll it or do the construction here within the US. So it varies, but most of the components that go into these elements are produced offshore.
Basically, the membrane component, but everything, the shell and everything else from the vendors is manufactured in the United States.
Or
Yeah, so these are wrapped in fiberglass, and that process for some vendors is performed right here in the US. I'll just also add some color that I've been in the membrane industry for 25 years now, and the price per element of $350 is what I was seeing when I started my career. So I don't know how they have kept the price this low, but as an industry, the price has not really increased significantly over 25 years.
yes, if you look at table 3, they actually is, you can compare it to the 13 years prior, it's really low. Okay, question?
Well, that answers my question. I'm just very concerned about, we do have a policy of buy American and support American manufacturing. And if we go with the recommendation, we would be consistent with that.
Okay. All right. Any further questions? If not, can you?
Chair, just had a comment.
Yes.
I think this is the only thing that I agree with, Alvarez. It's the Build America. But, I just wanted to comment, I agree with, Director Alvarez when it comes to Buy America and the parts that are made, in America. So I think, and you explained it well, Eric, I appreciate that. I know a lot of it, you can't really control, but I think when it comes to like constructing that membrane here locally, with other parts that are from America, that's always helpful.
Yeah, Director, if I may, one thing I would caution on very specialty items like reverse osmosis membranes, exclusively targeting products that are 100% or even a majority built here in the US may limit our competition and limit us to products that don't perform perhaps as effectively as others. So not suggesting anything other about the policy itself. I understand and agree with it. But in this particular case, there are not many vendors that do supply reverse osmosis membranes.
If I could add one thing, because not all of you were able to attend our advocacy trip to Washington, D.C., but I do want to give the board of directors a lot of credit in relation to the Buy America policy, because it allowed us to really carry that issue when we were in Washington, D.C. I know that Matt Bay, our manager of water policy and resource development, actually secured meetings with water reuse, where we actually brought this to their attention, that these membranes were all made offshore. And that was a concern for agencies like West Basin and any recycled water agency out there, specifically in relation to tariffs, but also in the need to produce these in America. So when we talked about it, we actually had a policy. We weren't complaining or advocating, against a tariff policy. What we were trying to do is highlight the issue that these were not actually made in America, that we're having a hard time procuring them from America. And so that actually, I think, put West Basin in a great light as far as advocating really to push your policies, but find an opportunity to buy these things from America.
Any further comments? Thank you, EJ. All right, can you call the roll?
Director Tommy Fabai,
Yes.
I heard a motion.
No, sorry, is there a motion to approve?
I will move the staff recommendation.
Second.
Any further questions? All right, please call the roll. Thank you.
Director Tommy Fabai,
Yes.
Director Desi Alvarez,
No.
Director Scott Houston,
Yes.
Director Don Deere,
Yes.
President Gloria Gray.
Yes. All right, thank you very much. Motion passes. Item 8D, please.
Yes, Madam President, item 8D is an agreement award for package monitoring well sampling services. As was with the previous item, this item was originally agendized for the Engineering Operations Committee, which ultimately had to be canceled. For this presentation, we do have Jamie Burkhardt, a water quality and environmental compliance analyst. This item begins on packet page 54.
Thank you, EJ. Good afternoon, directors. I am here today to present item 8D on page 54, as EJ just mentioned. I'd like to start by giving you a little bit of background information. This project is related to the West Coast Basin Barrier Project, which establishes a hydraulic barrier to prevent seawater intrusion within the groundwater aquifers in the South Bay. This is an indirect potable reuse project and is regulated through the state's Title 22 recycled water regulations, as well as our individual barrier permit. Regulations require us to monitor 11 different monitoring wells at 8 different locations within the South Bay. The proposed package work involves multiple components. First, it involves purging water from each well, usually 2 casings, to get accurate results reflective of the water quality within that aquifer. There's a flow cell at the surface that is taking water quality readings, and until they have stabilized, at which point the actual sampling begins. The next component is traffic control. The triple nested well, which is owned by West Basin, is on a very busy street that requires a lane closure and associated permits, equipment, and city notifications. A few other wells also require traffic control, such as blocked parking spaces and those associated right-of-way permits as well. The final piece of the bundled service is in relation to water hauling. West Basin has to either haul the purge water away or reuse it on nearby vegetation. Historically, West Basin was under the Los Angeles Regional Water Quality Control Board's general permit, waste discharge requirements for discharges of groundwater from construction and project dewatering to surface waters in coastal watersheds of Los Angeles and Ventura counties. The permit is updated every 5 years, and in 2018, a new version of the permit came out. And there were some changes in the regulations requiring changes in the regulations, including numerous water quality-based effluent limitations, compliance with California toxic rule. And because of this, the new version required compliance or required treatment if the discharges did not meet limits for the receiving water bodies. Because of the changes in this regulation, West Basin worked to find full-service sampling firms who could haul away the purge water and comply with the strict traffic control requirements. West Basin has contracted this combined service with both WPI and Lane Tech in the past, and the current contract with both of the companies expires December 31st, 2025. An RFP was released to OpenGov on October 1st, 2025. 3 companies submitted proposals by the deadline. 3 people evaluated the proposals, including an outside evaluator from LA County Department of Public Works, who is West Basin's partner in the barrier and owner of 8 of the 11 monitoring wells. A summary of the evaluation scores is provided in attachment C, and a cost summary showing all 3 companies' pricing, which is on a per well unit cost basis, is provided in attachment D. After evaluating the 3 proposals for the project, staff is recommending splitting the contract in order to maintain compliance with the well sampling requirements. Staff will assign 3 wells to Blaine Tech and 8 wells to WPI, with additional funding allocated for resampling for both firms. Well assignments were based on multiple factors, including cost, evaluation scores, city and traffic control requirements, and location. I will now read the recommendation. Staff recommends that the board authorize the general manager to enter into 2 agreements for packaged well sampling services, each for a term of 3 years, with 1, Wayne Perry Inc. in the amount of $164,967, plus a 10% contingency for a total not to exceed amount of $181,463.70. And 2, with Blaine Tech Services Inc. in the amount of $78,600 plus a 10% contingency for a total not to exceed amount of $86,460. And I am happy to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question, Jerry. I missed the part when you mentioned about what the difference is between the 2 companies, and why are we splitting up the bids for 2 companies instead of 1 company bidding 2?
Yeah, that's a great question. We have found over the past several years that in order to really prioritize compliance due to different scheduling conflicts, it's really beneficial for us to have 2 contracts already in place. Both of the companies are fairly busy on a regular basis, I'll say, and even when we have to ask them to schedule resample events, it's difficult to get someone who's available to go out and resample right away. So having the dual contracts is really helpful in that amount, because although they're assigned the 3 and the 8 wells respectively, either company can take over for the other if they're not able to do the service.
Okay, and that was my next question. The exact prescription of the work, both of them do the same scope of work.
Yes, they both are capable of doing the full service.
Are they both local?
I want to say one was a small business and one was local. Off the top.
So you meet the criteria of local business and small business.
Yes.
Any further questions, comments? All right, is there a second?
Second.
Question, please call the roll.
Director Tommy Fabai,
Yes.
Director Desi Alvarez,
Yes.
Director Scott Houston.
Yes.
Director Don Deere,
Yes.
President Gloria Gray.
Jerry, thank you very much. Item E.
Yes, Madam President, item 8E is an agreement award for exterior landscape services. This item was agendized on the engineering operations committee agenda, which ultimately had to be canceled. This item will be presented by Nelson Rodriguez, our facilities maintenance coordinator, and the item begins on packet page 76.
Thank you, EJ. Good afternoon, members of the board. I'll be highlighting the key points of the recommendation for the awarding of the proposed agreement. Please refer to page 76, as EJ mentioned, of your agenda packets. Our current exterior landscape service agreement is set to expire on December 31st, 2025. The proposed new landscape services agreement will be for a duration of 2 years and 6 months. We added 6 months to the agreement so that it aligns with our fiscal calendar and allows for improved annual budget projections. The agreement provides both general and friendly garden landscape services for a total of 8 of our facilities: DLD building, CL, GMM, the Chevron nitrification plant, the Honda disinfection station, the Dominguez booster pump station, the new Lego Seco pump station, and the Palos Verde pipeline master meter. The total amount proposed will include an additional 10% contingency for miscellaneous landscape efforts, such as irrigation upgrades, tree trimming not included in the proposed agreement, and plant replacement as needed. The scope of work schedule that details the required work and site maps for both the general and friendly garden landscapes are included in the agenda packet for your reference. West Basin completed a formal solicitation via the OpenGov online platform. Of that solicitation, we received 6 applicants and ultimately 3 bids. A thorough evaluation was conducted by West Basin staff. A table of final scores and price proposals is available with the recommendation for your review. Mariposa Landscapes, a local business enterprise based out of the city of Irwindale with a branch in the city of Gardena that will service the district, was selected. Major contributing factors for the recommendation and overall evaluation score were the completeness and quality of the proposal and the technical approach for both the general landscaping duties and the care of our California family gardens. At this time, I would like to read the recommendation and address any questions that you may have. The recommendation is that the board authorize the general manager to enter into an agreement with Mariposa Landscapes for the procurement of exterior landscaping services for a term of 2 years and 6 months from January 1st, 2026 to June 30th, 2028, in the amount of $189,886.80 and 10% contingency for as needed miscellaneous landscape efforts. Total contract amount not to exceed $208,875.48. I'd like to take this time to address any questions that you may have.
Are there any questions? No questions. Thank you for the presentation. Is there a motion to consider approval?
Second.
All right, no further questions. Please call the roll.
Director Tommy Favai,
Yes.
Director Desi Alvarez,
Yes.
Director Scott Houston, Director Don Deere,
Yes.
President Gloria Gray.
Yes. Thank you. Motion carried. Item 9, information calendar. Any items there?
Staff has no information calendar items.
Item 10, receive and file. Is there a motion to receive and file? Is there a second? Is there a second?
Yes.
Thank you. Any questions? No questions, please call the roll.
Director Tommy Favai,
Yes.
Director Desi Alvarez,
Yes.
Director Scott Houston,
Yes.
Director Don Deere,
Yes.
President Gloria Gray.
Item 11, general manager's report, please.
Yes, Madam President, the general manager's report has been distributed both via email as well as hard copies. I think it is complete in regard to our very active latter part of October. We had several different events. I want to say thank you very much to the board of directors as well as the entire staff and team here. All of those events went extremely well. I did want to say as the Thanksgiving weekend will be next weekend, I just want to say a happy Thanksgiving and say thank you to not just the board of directors, but the entire team here, the West Basin staff and team. So unless you have any questions about the general manager's report, I'll wrap it up there.
Thank you, PJ. Any questions, comments? Thank you for that detailed report. I know there's a lot of activities that your board members were aware of, and so you listed those. I think, in fact, this morning was listed, so thank you very much. Let's see. The next item, General Counsel's report.
I have no written or oral report.
Madam President,
Yes.
can we jump back into the general manager's report for one brief second? I've always said that Desiree Quintero keeps me on my toes, but also keeps me on point. And I could tell that when I wrapped up that report, she was thinking and mentally sending me the message that I did not listen to something that she said before this meeting began. And so I want to announce that we are very excited about an upcoming day, December 8th, the happiest birthday to our board president, Gloria Gray.
Yay.
The cake and I forget to acknowledge. And then when you said the date, I said, oh God, well, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. You know, I appreciate the cake and the recognition, but I'm gonna make my comments and then we're gonna come back to, you know, there's been a lot of discussion about outreach programs, and when we look at all these organizations that we consider for approval, but they're really very important to the community. And I know we're all about water, making sure it's reliable, safe, and that it has quality, right? But it's also important to outreach to the community and support different organizations that you've heard the board members we all bring forth. Because, you know, there's a lot going on in this world and a lot of people are suffering, especially right now. And next week is Thanksgiving, and it's a time to be thankful and grateful. And I think this board represents that when we do outreach to these organizations and support them. So I want to say that my birthday is coming. I'm very grateful and thankful. When I reach 8, I'm being up December 8th. But again, thank you to the staff and the board for recognizing my birthday. With that, what's the next thing we do? Thank you to the brand.
Can we do a quick photograph with the board and the cake?
Absolutely. The board wants to do that. Thank you.
Okay, what'd you believe on? I broke my leg.
Oh, what's beautiful today. Pretty. Ooh, wow. Yeah. What's the rest of the deer? Regular deer, you and I have been involved in water for years, right?
Thank you, Daryl.
Yeah, sure. One in close director go by.
Yeah.
Let's do one this
We want
way.
to say happy birthday.
You see, we get this way. And I'm gonna come around and get a close to that cake too. The birthday lady.
Deer.
Entity to implement.
Thank you.
Hey, can I get one with EJ too? Come on, EJ. And Desiree. Come on. Let her in the- let her in there.
What is it, big 9-0?
You knew he would say something like that. No, Don.
Thank you.
You're right. You never escalate.
You can say this in there.
Okay.
When he's always teasing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, everybody enjoy.
Yes.
the cake.
Yeah.
Okay. So where are we now?
We are on the general counsel's report.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. AB 1, 2, 3, 4, any report? Closed session? Joe? Any closed session?
I do not believe that we have a need for closed session, but
Yes, I was going to say, with the abbreviated month, West Basin staff and legal counsel are working on several key issues. We're going to continue to work on those through the holidays. And we hope to have a thorough report for you next month.
Thank you very much. Any questions about this? Director comment, Director Deere,
No comments, thank you.
Director Alvarez.
I just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. It's amazing that this year shall by this fast. We have a month left. And it will go even faster than the past 11 months have gone, with the holidays upon us. We do have a lot to be grateful for. I know that I do, and I give thanks for that. And I do want to thank everyone for all of their efforts in putting up with this board. And with that said, I still would like a legal opinion on the.
Director Pavon.
I just wanted to say, thanks, happy Thanksgiving, to all of your families. May you have a great time with the family. And then I close it out with this on future items. And, you know, I wanted to stress this because I think, what, Director Alvarez mentioned earlier, that, we always keep in mind on the procurement, side of it, when it comes to, Build America and Buy America, that we keep that in mind on, the procurement of, projects and stuff like that. So, thank you.
Thank you. Director Houston.
I would echo my colleagues. Happy Thanksgiving. Hard to believe we're here already. I do hope you all have a very good set of days off. Thanks for all the work over the course of the year. And thank you for allowing us to do this meeting earlier in the month so we can have a little less stress next week. But again, thanks for everything and enjoy some time with your families and your friends and your loved ones. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Director, to all of you, and happy Thanksgiving to all of you, to your families, your friends, your loved ones. And thank you for the reports this afternoon. I know we're coming to the end of the year, we have another month, but you know, I always say, and you've heard it from all of us here, that you guys do a great job of keeping this agency number one, I think, in the industry. And certainly that's what I hear when I go out in the community. People talk about the work that West Basin does. So thank you very much, but happy Thanksgiving to all of you here, and thanks again for your work. And so with that, no other future agenda items or comments. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.